or what can I do this week that can allow me to move a step closer towards that goal? What went wrong? What went well? Hello to my high achiever girlies. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Chantel T. I am a Jamaican living in the Bay Area, California, working as a software quality engineer. But outside of my job, I'm someone that's very passionate and driven about personal development, self-growth, intentional living, and becoming the best version of yourself. So if that aligns with any journey that you're currently going on, definitely feel free to join and continue watching the video and becoming a part of the family. Welcome. Come, we're building it. Coming from someone that's always going through personal development or self-growth, I can tell you firsthand that grinding, working hard, pushing sometimes might not produce the best outcomes. Sometimes it's better to slow down, reflect, and redirect your steps. And that's why I've came up with this series called Reflect and Reset Sundays, where we pretty much reflect on the previous week, how that went in terms of where we were able to achieve our goals, what went wrong, what went well, with the intention of, redirecting and planning for the coming week to ensure that we're able to weekly, step by step, work towards our long-term goals or our short-term goals for the end of this year, 2025. And now there is this great lock-in going on where everybody is fixated on personal growth, personal development, ensuring that they step back into a space where they can achieve their goals by the end of 2025. Love it. But I think that is perfect because it resonates with what we're doing here, which is having your goals and working towards them, but also incorporating the reflect sector of it and reset sector of it to ensure that, everything is harmoniously working together. So I want to sit down with you in this video and kind of set your goals, set how you can attain them weekly, and allow you to reflect on these goals. And I'll be very transparent and vulnerable with you as well, because I want you to hold me accountable and I want to hold you accountable. So I'm going to share some of my goals, and if you feel the desire to, if you're compelled to, feel free to share some of your goals in the comment section as well, and we can hold each other accountable and work actively work towards achieving our goals. Okay, so let's start with goal setting. And for me, I usually break it down into different sections. You don't have to, but I can give you some ideas of the sections and you can see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. All right, so for the section, we will be going over financial goals, physical goals, mental goals, spiritual, career or income, appearance and brand, content creation, and I added this new one compared to my last video, hobbies, because I realized I also need to wind down and relax a bit too, yeah? So these are 9 sections that we'll be discussing, and I want to go over them as quickly as possible so I don't bore you too much. But let's jump in. Let's start with one major question. What would I like my finances to look like by the end of this year, which is in the next 4 months? This could be something like I want to pay off my credit card, I want to pay this amount of money towards my student loan, I want to pay off my car, I want to have this amount in savings. Whatever it is for you, or how much of these listed works for you, feel free to add them or write them down. And also think about how good it will feel to actually achieve these goals. Me personally, some of my goals that I want to achieve by the end of this year in the section of finances is to save a certain amount, which is 10% of my income. I'm not there yet, but we're working towards it. Another section is to pay off all my credit cards. And to be honest, compared to 2 weeks ago when I started this video, I paid off 50% of what I had at that time. So that already has proven to me that it is very much possible to achieve my goals. So that's the importance of reflecting. Just want to put that in there. So pay off my credit card debt and also start consistently investing into ETFs. I've invested in other areas, but not ETFs. This is something that I've wanted to do from January this year, and I've been putting it off and off and off. So honestly, these are my 3 goals. Nothing major, nothing overwhelming, nothing crazy. But yeah, so once you've had your list of the things that you want your finances to look like or feel like by the end of this year, we'll then move into what can I do this coming week to ensure that I start moving towards those goals. So this could be as simple as researching. This could be as simple as opening up the Fidelity account or Vanguard or Charles Schwab's or wherever you want to invest your investment. This could be as simple as actually looking and calculating how much money I owe on my credit cards, how much money I owe on my loans, probably budgeting and reflecting on how I spent last week. This could be a bunch of things, but what I want you to do is pick one or two of them and actually put them in your calendar. Put them down. If you don't put them in your calendar, set an alarm for them. Pause the video right now, write it down, and put it in your calendar or put it on as an alarm on your phone. But yeah, so for me personally, the things that I reflecting on this previous week that ended, if you watch my previous video, you'll notice that my spending was $446. I was able to cut that back to $197, which to me is very impressive. I had to really reflect on how I was spending. I was able to look back on the subscription that I was paying, years that I was spending in that I didn't need to, and actually to be able to do that, I was able to use an app called Copilot. In this app, it pretty much allowed me to add all my savings account, add all my credit cards, all my debit account or checking account, add all my investments account, and with that I was able to see a pattern of what I consistently pay towards or what are recurring payments. I was able to see the subscriptions that I was paying for that I did not know I was paid for. I was able to see my investment and see where I can improve on that. So you don't have to get an app, but for me it was very helpful in actually just reassessing. The first week I did it manually by just pencil and paper, and the other week I was kind of like, this is tedious, this takes at least an hour or two to actually go through everything. I would suggest still going through everything just so you have an idea, but after the first week or two I would definitely recommend getting an app. There's Rocket Money, which I think is either free or might be cheaper. I can link that in the description. And then there's also Copilot, which is $13 a month. Pretty pricey, but it worked for me and I want to use it until I don't have to anymore. So if you can't remember right now, put it in your calendar to do maybe Wednesday. Put it in your calendar to say, okay, Wednesday I'm gonna go ahead and set up Copilot or set up Rocket Money or research an app that I can use to budget. Do something this week and don't just leave it in your brain to remember. As a matter of fact, let me show you. You see that right there? $5.50 recurring every Friday. I use that to remind myself that I need to check my finances. When it alarms, maybe at that time I'm doing something, but I set it to snooze and then I prepare myself. I say, okay, let me go over the app specifically and see what I've been spending and reassess my financial goals. Right, let's move on to physical goals. I have my notes here. That's how important this is. Alright, physical goals. What do I want my body to feel or look like by the end of 2025? Pause the video, think about that for a second, and then write it down. This could be as simple as maybe losing weight, maybe gaining weight, maybe just being more active and energized, maybe changing the way that I view my body or view myself. Think about it and think about what really works for you based on your life and how you see yourself, and write it down. And be realistic, but also, if you can, go a little bit higher. Go a little bit higher. You want to lose 20 pounds? Try 25. Or whatever you can. So once you have that, for me personally, my goals look something like: 1, I want to lose a couple pounds and build muscle. 2, I want to change my diet to prioritize gut health. And 3, work out consistently, hopefully 3 times per week. And then once you have those goals, you can do the same thing, which is, what can I do this week to add to this goal? And you don't have to push it a lot, because by Sunday we'll be reflecting again to see where you slip up. You can either say, okay, I want to work out 3 times this week, I want to work out 2 times, I want to work out 1, I want to go to the gym. Have an idea of what you can do this coming week to work towards that goal, and put it in your calendar or set an alarm for it. I'm telling you, don't leave it up to the cranium, you will forget. But yeah, and for me this looks something like, planning my days that I want to work out for the week, days and time that I want to work out for the week, and planning my meals, or have an idea of the meals I want to plan for the week and have those listed down. That's it. On Sundays, well, I usually start from Saturday. On Saturday evening, I would go on my phone and I'd say, hey ChatGPT, these are the food I have in my house. Once I sit down with ChatGPT to either discuss the foods that I already have in my house for it to make meal plans, or to discuss the meal plan for the week for it to give me a grocery list. The Sundays when I either cook and prepare for my meals, or go grocery shopping to get the meals needed for my meal prep or my plan. And this allows me to work towards my second goal, which is to eat good healthy food, and also my first goal, which is to lose weight and gain muscle. And then the last goal, which is to work out consistently 3 times per week. I would set my alarms, I would pick out my clothes, I would pick the days that I'm going to work out, and I'll pick the times that I'm going to work out, and I'll put them in my calendar. As you can see, there are days when I go to the gym and I have lower body on Monday, upper body on Wednesday, and on Saturdays I have full body plus conditioning. So that's what I do. I actually don't leave it up to my brain. I actually put it down in my calendar and alarm on my phone to make sure that I don't forget. And if it works for you, it works for you. And if it doesn't, that's fine. The following week, you change it up, you switch it up, you see what went wrong, you see what went well. Speaking of, I also have my reflection part to do for this previous week. So for this previous week, the goal was to wake up early. The goal was to go to the gym early as well. Monday was a holiday, so I was able to, go to the gym. However, Wednesday when I did go to the gym, I realized that when I came back, it was so close to my work time that I did not have enough time to actually eat and get ready and relax before I start working. So that's something that is not working for me as much. I was supposed to go Friday, but because I realized this, I actually went Saturday instead of Friday. The reason I'm saying this is because I now realize that 7 p.m. will not work for me. I either have to wake up 6:30 or 6:45 or something, and I have to move a lot quicker just to ensure that I get to the gym by 7:30 to get back by 8:30. That way I'll have 30 minutes to 45 minutes to actually get ready, eat, and relax before jumping into work. So that's something that I want to change for the coming week. Would I be able to do it this week? Fingers crossed. That is the goal. That's the aim. That's something that I want. And I would suggest doing the same, because you've reflected on the week and you realize, okay, this might not work for me. What can I do the next week to ensure that it works? And for me, that's actually moving the time that I wake up by 15 to 20 minutes and seeing how I feel about that. Which are mental goals. So mental goals aren't as tangible, in my opinion, as the other financial and physical goal. So I'll ask you this: by the end of 2025, how do you want to feel mentally? Pause the video and answer my question. I'm so serious. But yeah, by the end of 2025, how do you want to feel? How you want your mental health to look or feel like by the end of this year could be as simple as to, for me personally, is to go to therapy, which I've actually started doing, meditating, praying, saying affirmations. That is actually working very well for me. And last but not least, reading or listening to audiobooks. So these are my 3 major goals that I want to accomplish this year. And I can honestly say that I've been able to make steps towards them. And this comes to the question that I have to ask you. What can you do this week to allow you to work towards this goal? I'm listening. It could be as simple as finding a book that might align with something that I'm currently wanting to achieve or working towards. Learning how to meditate, learning how to pray. Simple as that. Just things that can wind down and de-stress and allow you to improve on your mental health. If you can't think of anything right now, set a time in your calendar to actually make time to think about it. And in that session, in that 1 hour, that 30 minutes, or that 15 minutes, you sit down and you think about, okay, do I want to actually go to therapy? Yes or no? Want to meditate more? Yes or no? But for me personally, I have been able to consistently set my therapy sessions. So I have a therapist. I've been seeing her for a couple of months now, and we meet every couple of weeks. See this little dot right there? That is my appointment. That's my therapy session that I did this week. In the first video, if you have not watched that, go ahead and check it out. I mentioned that I was currently reading Think and Grow Rich. I was able to finish that book sometime after, and I actually started a new book, which is this: I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. I actually watched this on YouTube, so that kind of inspired me to get the book. And what I do personally when I'm reading my book is to read it a couple minutes before I go to bed. So I don't use my phone anymore. I avoid using my phone right before I go to bed because, one, it makes me stay up later, and the whole point is to wake up early so I can do things with my day. So instead of scrolling on my phone, I actually intentionally put the phone down and read for a couple minutes, or read until I get sleepy. See what works for you and try to implement it this week. If not this week, the following week. But we'll reflect, and if you were able to read the book during the week, you say, okay, good job, this time works for me. If you're not, you can move the time around and try different times of the week or different times of the day. That's the whole point of reflecting on your week. Yes. And also, I do listen to audiobooks. I'm currently listening to Breaking the Habits of Being You, How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. So that's what I'm currently reading. In the previous video, I was listening to The Psychology of Money. I finished that and I now listen to this one. And how I actually listen to my audiobooks, I do it when I'm working out in the gym. So I spend approximately 3 hours in the gym per week and I listen to my audiobooks for those 3 hours. When I was listening to the 4-hour work week, I actually would pause and write down notes. And I think it worked for me. Like, I can go back to these notes and actually look at them and oh yeah, I can implement this into my life. Oh yeah, I can try this. So that's what I would do. That's been working for me, so I'll continue doing that for next week. Yeah, moving on to spiritual. I'm gonna ask you, what are your spiritual goals and how do you want to feel by the end of 2025? And this could be as simple as going to church if you're not a church goer, or finding a YouTube channel that you can join every Sunday to be a part of the church service. It could be as simple as that. It could be attending Bible study. It could be attending prayer meeting. It could be attending all of these events consistently and finding a way to put them in your schedule. It could be reading your Bible, making time to read your Bible. If you aren't a Christian, then you can find other ways, maybe meditating, praying more, reading your holy book, having mentors that can teach you about your holy book, having people around you that can hold you accountable to live by the ways in which your holy book says that you should. And for me, that's the Bible, right? So think about that. Or if you can't think about it right now, put it in your calendar, set an alarm for it, and do it sometime this week. Yes. And think about, what can I do this week to actually allow me to take a step closer towards that? This week I was able to have my Bible study for one day, which is Tuesday, attend my actual church Bible study, and attend church. I was not able to do anything active towards my church this week. As I mentioned, it's something that I want to discuss with a senior at my church to see how I can help out or how I can assist. So yeah, that's the plan. The fifth section is career and social growth. You don't have to combine career and social. I did because they kind of go hand in hand in what I want to achieve long term. So career, you can sit down and pause and think, what would I want my career change or growth to look and feel like by the end of 2025? So pause and think about that. If it's to get a promotion or work towards getting a promotion, if it's to do a training or a certification, if you already have these goals, that it's perfect. You can easily just relax here. But if you don't, or revamp them, revisit them. But if you don't have these goals, definitely put time in your calendar, set an alarm on your phone to tell you when I can pause and actually think about my career and social goals, and then write them down. When you're thinking about it, just document when and how I'd like to incorporate it into my week. That way, the following week, I can actually actively incorporate it. If you want to do a course, make time to research what course, if the course is free, if it costs, just stuff like that. If you want to network, how am I going to network? How often am I going to network? Me personally, some of my goals look like this. I do want to complete a course or have a certification in a specific area by the end of this year. I do want to improve my knowledge in my career, and I believe that having this certification will help me. I've started a couple, I have not completed any. I'll talk about that a bit more in the reflection part of this video. Another goal is to become a Toastmasters person. Is to join the Toastmasters International and be an active member at a chapter or a club. That's a goal that I want to accomplish this year. Another is to become a part of chambers of commerce and network there and meet people there. This is a part of my long-term goals, so it's not I have to be big into it, but just to find out how I can start, where I can start, and actively join and slowly become a member of that organization or that club or that chapter. But yeah, these are my 3 goals. This is the area that I honestly have not made any progress this year. It's sad. But that's why we have these sessions, so I can sit down and I can be honest and vulnerable with you, and you can hold me accountable and I can hold you accountable. But honestly, I have not made much effort or improvement in these areas. And start the course tomorrow evening. Yeah. Alright, so the other one is Toastmasters. In the last video I mentioned that I was able to find 2 chapters. I tried attending one, they actually had a password on the Zoom link, so I wasn't able to attend. And then I forgot the Wednesday, so I was not able to attend any Toastmasters that week. So I will make time this Wednesday and go to that one in person. And if they lock me out, then so be it. At least that's a step that I can get closer towards getting that accomplished this week. So I'll put that in my calendar and I'll set an alarm for it and I'll do it this week. The next area is appearance and brand. For me, it's appearance slash brand. So this goes in person, my in-person appearance, and my online appearance, which is my brand. The goals in this area are a bit so. I too need to sit down and make time to actually go over my goals. And I want to say to myself, Chantel, and I want to say to you too, how do you want people to see you by the end of 2025? How do you want to feel about how you look and your appearance by the end of 2025? Is there anything that you'd like to change by the end of 2025? If not, then I need to sit down and make some time to think about this. If this is an area that you care about as well, I would honestly suggest that you make time to figure out how I can improve my appearance. And this is separate and apart from physical, because physical can be physical health, going to the gym, feeling healthy, seeing your doctors, all that stuff. This is more on just superficial stuff. Wear jewelry, I don't want to wear jewelry. I want to have perfume, I don't want to have perfume. What kind of perfume, what kind of body spray? Just very, very superficial, very, very front facing, very, very, what do people see when they look at me type of thing. So yeah. Content creation and social media. This is an area that is specific to me. Not everybody wants to do this, and if you don't, you can skip over this part. But because we are a family here and I want you to hold me accountable, I'm going to share with you some of the goals that I want to achieve by this year 2025. What do I want my content creation, or what do you want if you're also a content creator? So you have your content look and feel like by the end of this year. So that could be as simple as posting more. That could be as simple as figuring out what platforms you want to post on. And then once you have those, what can I do this week that can allow me to move a step closer towards that goal? So for example, for me, I want to post once a week. I want to record once a week. So I record the Sunday and I post it the following Sunday. Whatever it is that I need to accomplish, I'll break it down and add it to my schedule for the coming week. Another is there are a lot of skills that I've noticed that you need to have to excel at YouTube. I didn't know this before, but now that I do know this, I want to make the time to actually learn and improve on these skills and be better at these things. Plan the video or the script for the video that I will record on Sunday. So that's what my routine look like. That's what I'll be doing this week to ensure that I'm working towards my goal, which is to grow my YouTube channel. I didn't mention my goals. So my goals are to 1, grow my YouTube channel to hopefully at least 1,000 subscribers by December. Post consistently every single week from now until December. And then I also want to have my niche blend on my TikTok channel. So let's move on to the last but not least, hobbies. This was something that I added actually yesterday. I reflected and decided to add it today because this week I was actually burnt out. Work was a little bit stressful, and with everything else that I'm adding to my plate, it can cause a little bit of high cortisol. And I'm somebody that is obsessed with doing well or excelling, and sometimes I put that pressure on myself and it is counteractive, right? So the way that I want to combat this, or the way that I think I can combat this, is by incorporating hobbies or fun activities or fun stuff that I can do to relax and enjoy this beautiful life that I have. Well, first let me ask you, and I'll ask myself, what hobbies would I like to incorporate into my life before the end of 2025? And this could look like swimming. This could be so many things. This could be meeting up with people, playing table tennis, ping pong, pickleball, painting, art, music. The list goes on, and there's so much things. So for me personally, I sat down and I thought about, okay, what are things that I'm already interested in? I'm already interested in improving my appearance. So I'm now looking into fashion and learning more about fashion. I'm also interested in 3D art. I really like 3D art. This is an example of one that I actually did this week. That's why I know I have to add it to my schedule. So I really like 3D arts like these. I want to make time to do more of it to de-stress. And last but not least, speaking Francais, I did start learning French, however. I actually have a book on my iPad that I document hobbies that I want to learn and why. And yeah, every week I'm trying to incorporate something into my life. I was able this previous week to do my 3D art, which was very fun. I do want to learn a little bit more about 3D art, so I might go to a museum. Another thing that I noticed that I can do as well is I can get day passes to hotels, spend a day there, go to the spa, and have access to all these amenities and enjoy them for the day and then come back home. That's something I'm looking into as well. I also want to start traveling a bit more this year. Fortunately, I was able to travel to 4 countries in total, excluding Jamaica, which is my home country. But I was able to travel, and I want to do that as a hobby going forward. I want to start this year. I don't know if I'll do much this year, but I really want to propel it, start the momentum for next year where I want to travel. And I want to do it locally to different states and something. And I want to vlog that and share that with you as well. So look forward to that. But yeah, those are the hobbies that I currently am looking into, and those are the ways that I'm trying to incorporate them into my life. As you can tell, there are a lot of things that I'm still penciling out, and there's a lot of things that I have been able to improve on since the last video that I posted. If you have not watched that, definitely go ahead and watch it. But yes, I have created a system around some things. Some things I'm still figuring out. So plan my meals, do my laundry, reflect on my budget. And then Sunday is when I actually do most of the reset. So on Sundays, I'll prepare my meals for the week using the groceries that I bought or the meal plan that ChatGPT gave me. I'd also fold my laundry and organize the clothes that I'll be wearing to the gym, clothes that I'll be wearing in the house, or if I'm going in office, clothes that I'll be wearing to go in office. This is kind of like too much for most people, but it works for me and it's fine. But yeah, that is all I have for this video. Next week, I'll see you again. We will reflect on the week and discuss what we can and will improve. This video was, to interact with the great locking activity that everybody is doing, and I want to share the tips that I'm also doing with you. But next videos, the next coming videos will be strictly focused on reflecting and resetting, as well as meeting the goals for the great locking. So I'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching. Please go ahead and like if you did enjoy this video. Comment below what are some of the goals that you will be achieving this week so I can hold you accountable. And yeah, share to anyone that you think might benefit from joining this family that we're building here. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Or what can I do this week that can allow me to move a step closer towards that goal? What went wrong? What went well?